I've got my quilt binding strips made. So the first thing I need to do is find the right foot, because I don't think this is the correct one. Let me dig in here to find something. Aha. The trick with this quilt is that I did not make the quilt top. I quilted this, but it came with prairie points on the top already. So once I quilted it, I had like a little conundrum how I was going to get the binding on. So what I decided to do was fold and pin all the prairie points back. So my intention is to take this, line it up with the top on the prairie points, sew along the same line, essentially, and then fold it on back and attach the binding to the back, because this is the finished edge. I always start the process just in the middle of a random side and leave a tail to work with. So I've got this as a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I've lined up the open edge of my binding strips with the edge of the quilt, and there's that line under there. I'm essentially trying to sew over that. I thought it would be a good idea to show you what I do when I come to the end and how I manage that. So I kind of just keep my finger where there's like a 1/4 inch left, and I sew all the way up to like my nail. My nail hits the presser foot. I'm gonna lift this up, release the needle, and turn the whole thing. See, it's still attached, but I've turned it. Okay, so what I do is I flip this up like that, hold it in place, and flip this back down to where it is lined up again, going straight back down. And then I'm going to do the same thing and sew straight over this. Joining the two edges of the quilt binding back at the end is probably my least favorite part of quilting, and I did not video it. All I ever do is bring out the McCall's video related to the topic, and I'll show you a screenshot here. Now that the binding is attached to the top of the quilt, this is what you're left with. You can see the top, the batting, and the backing. I'm going to fold it back, and I'm going to whip stitch all the way through, covering the sewing line that I made when I attached it to the top.